Hey there, you just clicked on First Down Punts. Nice move. This is a podcast about football and how it relates to fantasy football. Hope you like what you hear. We're going to get this thing started. Let's get crazy. And welcome in, everyone, to another episode of First Down Punts. I'm your host, Coach Chris. Today we're going to be going over the top 70 running backs for fantasy football, broke down into 9 tiers. So you know exactly where to value these guys and figure out where you want to draft them and everything else. We have some changes from our initial top 25 where people are, some due to injury, some due to performance. But definitely mixing it up here and getting through 70 running backs today. Help you guys with your fantasy football drafts coming up, especially those deep leagues. Obviously, after about the top 40 or 50 for you shallow leagues, it'll definitely be a little bit easier. But the deep leaguers, we got some stuff for you too. Don't worry about it. We're going to go ahead and get in these running backs, guys, 1 through 70. Obviously, as you can see, tier 1, we have Bijan Robinson, number 1 overall for the Falcons. Number 2 overall, Jahmyr Gibbs for the Lions. And number 3 overall, Saquon Barkley for the Eagles. Those are the same. They have stayed the same since the retirement of Frank Ragnow for the Lions. I had Gibbs at 1, but had to move him down after that one because Ragnow's a hell of a player. But those top 3 have stayed the same. Tier 2 we get into here, as you can see. We have Chase Brown at number 4. He moved up from, I believe it was 6, so he's moved up 2 spots. I'm huge on Chase Brown this year. I think he could finish possibly as a number 1 overall, or at least in that top 4. He can move into that next tier, definitely by next year. It's just about opportunities this year and staying healthy, man. But Chase Brown's got a ton of talent. And in that offense, a really good offense, it's definitely going to be helpful for his fantasy value. At number 5, we got Derrick Henry. He was number 4, but I just kind of I moved Chase Brown up, and Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs both dropped a spot. But this is our tier 2, like I said. These are all guys that I think could finish top 10, no problem, and possibly finish number 1. Those top 3 guys, they can all finish number 1 with ease. Chase Brown, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Bucky Irving. Definitely have the opportunity to finish number 1. Ashton Genty, he moved up. He was at 10 for me, I think it was before. Now he's moved up to 8 because it's all him, and the Raiders have looked good in the preseason. I feel like they're going to get off to a good start. Like I said, I think they're going to be a competitive team, and he has no one competing for opportunities with him. Bucky's still got to worry about Rachaad White, who's been banged up right now, and he actually dropped in our rankings. And Sean Tucker, the other backup running back for the Tampa Bay Bucks, he's moved up in our rankings. So you'll see that as we go through. But neither one of them made the top 25 originally. But we're moving to tier 3 here, guys. Kyren Williams just got paid, obviously. Christian McCaffrey, I've moved up. I had him at 16. But being the fact that every other guy around him is hurt, I don't even think they could take him off the field if they want to. I'm still terrified of Christian McCaffrey's injury history. But his potential is super high. I figured they would try to alleviate some of his opportunities. And with the injury of risk, I had him lower. I have to move him back up for the simple fact of if he's going to be the only guy getting the ball besides Jeff Wilson Jr., and even though wide receivers are hurt, he's going to be used more as a pass catcher. He's going to have every opportunity to be the Christian McCaffrey of old. My only concern, he would be a top 5 pick if I had faith in his health. He's moved up 5 spots from where he was on my list, but still right there at number 10, just made it inside the top 10. Number 11, Jonathan Taylor. And number 12, Devon Achane. He just popped up with a soft tissue injury. We're waiting for more details on that. But the report is he could be out anywhere between days and weeks. If he is not practicing before the season starts, he's dropping down more to me. And it'll bump Ollie Gordon up more to me because I love Ollie Gordon. I believe he's going to be the number 2 back there. I think he's already passed Jalen Wright in Mike McDaniel's mind, whether or not the depth chart says it or not. But right now, Devon Achane has dropped. He dropped from number 7 or 8, I believe I had him ranked, to number 12 here because I don't like soft tissue injuries. You'll see more of that when we get into receivers. But right now, Devon Achane is at 12, and he's the last player in tier 3. There's only 4 guys there. I feel like that those guys are in a group of their own where if healthy all season, they can finish as top 10 backs, no problem. If not healthy, like Achane and Kyron Williams can both finish as a top 3 back. Nope. Or I'm sorry, not Kyron Williams. Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey and Achane can both finish as a top 3 back if healthy all season. But with what's going on in Miami and his soft tissue injury, he had to drop down for me. So tier 4, as you can see here, we got Chuba Hubbard. I think I had him ranked at 13 last time, or at 12 last time. So he's dropped a spot, mainly because McCaffrey moved up. 14, Kenneth Walker. 15, a rookie, R.J. Harvey. 16, another rookie, Travion Henderson. The only reason Harvey is above Henderson here is because I think he's going to get more opportunities. I still believe the Patriots are going to use Ramondre Stevenson, and Travion Henderson's going to be that Jahmyr Gibbs style player. I know everybody relates it to the Lions two-back system, but Travion Henderson's special. I told you guys that in my pre-draft rankings for the actual NFL draft. After the draft, I'm still big on Travion Henderson. I think he's a special talent, and he will overtake Ramondre as the number 1, but he's still got to worry about sharing time, just like Gibbs with Montgomery. And definitely a player you want on your team, though. If you take him over Henderson, if you take him over any of these guys, that's why they're all tiered here, because it's really who you want in this tier. Even Omari and Hampton down here at 20, if you like Omari and Hampton that much, take him, man. He's your guy. It's your team. That's the one thing people always were, oh, well, where's he at in ADP or where's he at in the ranking? No, this is why I like to do tiers, because it shows you these are the guys that I feel like are all similar of scoring possibilities. Obviously, Travion Henderson, I'm really big on, but with Ramondre there, and I don't believe the Patriots are going to be a dominant offense. So it's about ranking him properly, even though I'd put him in the top 10 probably next year. Once he comes out and proves, Patriots improve a little bit around him, become a more consistent team, show me that they're going to use him consistently. All that stuff is important. But he's already scored 2 touchdowns in the preseason because the kid's super talented. That's just all there is to it. Alvin Kamara is right after him because he's still going to get 65 to 70 catches. And Shuck has showed enough. Radler had a really good game in the preseason game, the second preseason game for them. Shuck didn't do anything really wrong, got a couple sacks, but didn't do as much as he did in the first game with passing yardage, getting a touchdown in the first game. But I still believe Shuck's going to end up being the starter there for the Saints. And Alvin Kamara is still one hell of a receiving back with a banged-up Devin Neal and an ineffective Kendre Miller. So he should be on the field quite a bit still, guys. 18, Breece Hall. I know everybody is freaking out about Breece Hall. Are they going to trade him? Or has Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis passed him on the depth chart? I don't believe that's the case. This is another one of those like the Lions situation with the Patriots situation. It's going to be a 2-back system in New York. They want to run the ball. With Braylon Allen and Breece Hall, they're going to be able to. And if either one of them gets hurt, they have Isaiah Davis in the backfield. Hell, they got Donovan Edwards in the backfield. I think he could make the team as a 4th running back. But definitely something to pay attention to. But Breece had to get dropped a little bit because I do believe Braylon Allen's going to take more of that chunk of running back carries. So 19, James Cook, he just got paid. I had him ranked at, I think, 12 or 13. I think it was 12 originally. I had to be a little more realistic with myself, and with him missing a lot of time in camp with the hold in and then not playing after warming up. They want Ray Davis to carry the ball some more and take some of that load off James Cook. Josh Allen is still a threat. Yes, James Cook had 16 touchdowns last year. I think he can still hit double-digit touchdowns this year. I know everybody's like predicting some huge regression. And it's always funny the players they choose to pick for regression and the players that had career years that they don't think is going to regress at all. But in reality, if you had a huge year in any statistical situation, you're gonna be prone to regression from that, especially if it's like a career year. But I still like James Cook. Still think he's on a really good offense, one of the better offenses in the league, and he's still going to be an effective player. So he's still in our top 20 here. Number 20 is Omari Hampton, the rookie with the Chargers. With Najee getting an eye injury, had to move Hampton up into this top 20, man, because I don't know if Najee's going to be ready. He just got back to running. There's a whole speculation about how bad his eye injury is. But at the end of the day, Najee's going to play this year. He's going to take some away from Omarion. If he wasn't, I would have Omarion ranked higher. But like I said, this is tier 4. And these are the guys that are all going to have opportunities, plenty of opportunities. You just don't know how much is going to be taken away from the players around them. Tier 5, Tony Pollard at 21. Tajay Spears is banged up now. They got the chestnut kid, but I don't think he's a real threat. I think Tony Pollard with Cam Ward there at quarterback could have a really good year and could definitely finish above number 21 this year. But you don't want to pay the price to get him at 13. You want to pay the 20 in the 20s here and hope he finishes as 13 and get that super value. 22, James Conner. I love James Conner. I had him ranked, I think, at 18 or 17 before. But with all the news about Trey Benson's going to get tons of carries, I got to drop him down a little bit. He is 30 years old, 31 years old. And Benson, even James Conner himself said Benson's going to get more carries. Plus, I don't have a lot of faith in the Cardinals offense to be consistent. And James Conner, when he was getting everything, he was very consistent for you for fantasy. But now with Benson's going to be getting more and the inconsistency of the Cardinals offense, I got to knock him down a little bit. David Montgomery, you know what he is, man. He's a touchdown machine, getting 50, 60 yards rushing, another 20 yards receiving. Maybe he hits 100 yards here, but receiving and rushing combined. Maybe he has a big rushing game here and there and hits 100 yards rushing. But more than anything, you're counting on David Montgomery for those touchdowns. I still believe that's going to be part of the Lions offense. I do believe Gibbs will be starting every game this year, but Montgomery's still going to be very involved with that Lions offense. So number 24, Caleb Johnson. Guy I liked coming out of Iowa as a rookie here this year, getting drafted to the Steelers after they let Najee walk away to the Chargers. They still got Tyler Warren, another split backfield. He would be hired, the same thing if Warren wasn't there. There wasn't a plan. If there wasn't a plan for a split backfield. But 25, Isaiah Pacheco, Chiefs running back. He's back. He's healthy, man. He'll finish higher than 25. But it's all about how healthy is he? Is his leg good to go? He looked slow when he came back, but he came off a broken leg. So I think Pacheco's going to be fine. You're going to get him at a value this year, and he'll probably end up getting drafted as the 15th best running back next year. 26 here, Tyrone Tracy. He scored in 2 preseason games now, I believe. He is the Giants starting running back. Scadaboo's banged up. Singletary never been anything special, just a solid running back. So I think Tyrone Tracy is going to be doing what he was doing at the end of last season, guys. I do. I think Scadaboo could take some carries here, but him and Singletary are going to be splitting carries as the backups, and Tyrone Tracy's your starter. But how good are the Giants going to be? So definitely would be ranked higher if the Giants had a good offense that I trusted. 27, Nick Chubb. For the Houston Texans, he signed as a free agent this year after coming off injuries last year. And right now, Joe Mixon we don't know when Joe Mixon's coming back, man. And there's been, Chubb's looked slow in camp. Chubb ran just fine, 5 for 25, had 5 yards a carry the other day in the preseason. I don't have any doubt that Nick Chubb could still do that, especially with the weapons that the Houston Texans have to draw attention away from the run game. They made a lot of changes to their offensive line. It's going to take some time for continuity. But whoever the running back for this offense is going to have an opportunity to score touchdowns. Right now, I believe Nick Chubb's going to be the starter. Maybe Woody Marks is sprinkled in. When Mixon comes back, Chubb could stay the starter, and Mixon just becomes they become a split backfield. But I heard something the other day that said Mixon might not play this year at all. So it's something to be aware of, something to be paying attention to as your drafts are coming up. And always be checking your guys. GTS, Google that shit. Anytime you're about to draft a player, Google that player's name. Scroll through real quick while you're waiting for the next guys to draft before you, and make sure that player is fully healthy, to make sure that player hasn't got in trouble or got injured in practice or cut by their team. Brian Robinson right now for the Commanders, rumor just popped up. He could be getting traded. That was just breaking news a little bit ago, that he could be getting traded. Definitely some teams that need running backs that would change our running back rankings, I'm sure. But right now, I got Chubb there at 27, and at 28, he was at 25 before. He was our last running back. Aaron Jones, just because I do believe Jordan Mason's going to be involved, and some of these rookies have moved up. It's not so much an indictment on Aaron Jones. It's more about what some of these other guys have done to move up the board. Travion Henderson, as much as I loved him, I didn't know how much they were going to use him. Now I believe he's going to take over earlier than expected for them. That's why he's moved up. Omarion Hampton, now that Najee's banged up, maybe not starting the season, he's moved up. So Aaron Jones is still in this 5th tier here with these other guys. But these guys are all going to be a split back or not the dominant 350 carry guys. You know what I mean? So just something to pay attention to as we move into tier 6. Number 29, Tank Bigsby. Tank Bigsby, I believe, is going to be the starting running back for the Jags. I still believe it's going to be mixture of all 3 of their running backs right now with Travis Etienne and Bashul Tutin, the rookie that they drafted. I think there's definitely going to be some three-headed monster there in Jacksonville, but I believe Tank Bigsby is going to be the most valuable one because I believe he'll be the red zone, or I shouldn't say red zone, but inside the fives, inside the 10 carries, those are Tank Bigsby's. Between the 20s, that's Tank Bigsby. First to second down, like you like to think about. I know ETN started, but their game the other day, I still think he's number 2 on the list, and Tootin's going to have to work his way up over the course of the season. Not a guy I'm looking to draft in Tootin, but definitely something to pay attention to. Number 30 here, DeAndre Swift. Now, the Bears could trade for Brian Robinson, and Swift's value is gone to me. Swift is the starter by default, and he's at number 30 because guess what? He's still a starting running back. If he does what he did last year, you're going to be happy getting him here at number 30. If he does worse, you're going to be pissed off. If he does better, you're going to be real excited. So Ben Johnson's used him before. We've seen that. I believe between Roshan and the rookie Kyle Monangai, there's a changing of the guard going on right now. We'll get into that as we get further down this list. But DeAndre Swift is still the number 1 right now. And he's definitely a hell of a receiving back. We know that. His more thing is about being a consistent runner. And are the Bears offense going to click this year? So there's a lot of questions around him. But as a starting running back, at this point, you draft him and you're like, all right, fine, he's my 3rd guy or he's my 2nd guy, but I went receiver, tight end or some shit in the first 3 rounds, where you're drafting running backs later hoping to find that starter. Number 31, another one of those guys, Ramondre Stevenson. Number 32, Jaylen Warren. Both of those guys we just talked about, splitting backfields with other guys. I just believe they're the lower tier of those guys that are splitting. They're the number 2s for the course of the season. Number 33 here, J.K. Dobbins. I believe he will be part of a split backfield with R.J. Harvey. I just believe R.J. Harvey is going to be the main guy there in the Broncos. And I believe the Broncos are going to have a really good offense. As you've seen if you watched our predictions video about the AFC West or the playoffs or Super Bowl stuff, I believe the Broncos are a Super Bowl contender this year. And I have them winning the AFC West by a tiebreaker with the Chiefs. All the same, I believe Dobbins and Harvey are both going to be involved. This might be a little high for Dobbins, but I really do think they're going to be doing something like the Lions situation, like the Patriots situation, where they're going to have 2 guys in the Jets situation. That's why Braylon Allen is right here at 34, right behind Dobbins. I could probably switch these 2, honestly, because I think Braylon Allen's probably going to be a little more involved than Dobbins is with his team. But Broncos are the better offense, so you keep Dobbins 1 spot ahead. 35 here, Jerome Ford. Now, it did just come out that Quinshon Judkins, all charges have been dropped against him. He's free to sign his contract, but there still could be some kind of punishment from the NFL. I'm sure they're reviewing all the situations just for the negative attention you bring to the Shield. They want to punish you for that, I promise you that. So even though charges aren't officially filed against Quinshon Judkins in his off-field incident, he still has to sign his contract. We still don't know what's going to happen with him. And for that fact, I got to put Jerome Ford here. As much as I like the other rookie, Dylan Sampson, I believe this is another one of those, like the Jags with 3 running backs that are going to end up impacting the offense this year, and you're not going to get any consistency from any of them now. So we'll see what happens with the Browns running back situation, but I'm not looking to draft these guys anymore. Like, I was real excited about Judkins and Sampson coming in as rookies. Then Judkins gets the off-field rest, all that stuff. Then I'm like, all right, Dylan Sampson, great. Jerome Ford gets held out, even though he's healthy. Makes me think maybe they're leaning towards him starting the season and letting Dylan Sampson be that too. Then Judkins comes back. No charges are dropped. It's just a whole situation there in Cleveland, one that I'm probably trying to avoid or just taking a shot on one of those guys. Right now being Jerome Ford because I believe he's going to start the season. So if I need to get off to a start and this is like one of those where you've waited on running backs. Draft Jerome Ford to start the season while you're figuring out everything else. So Travis Etienne, like I said, with the Jags, like I said, Tank Bigsby's at 29, Travis Etienne's at 36. I believe both of these guys are going to be involved quite often and could possibly turn into a 3-headed monster with the rookie there. 37. Now, here's a very big mover across most people's boards. Some people have already been high on him. But CROSKEY MERRITT, the rookie for the Commanders. This is a big reason why Brian Robinson is on the trade block, according to reports. because they are ready to move forward with CROSKEY MERRITT here, the rookie, and number 38, his teammate, Austin Eckler. If they move forward with those two guys and Brian Robinson ends up getting traded to a Chicago, to somewhere else, Merritt's shooting up everybody's board. So if you're drafting right now, grab him later in one of those later rounds, because in a week and a half, when everybody's doing their drafts there right after the preseason's over and cuts are made, Merritt's going to be a much more valuable player. So if you're in a dynasty, you already got him in your rookie draft. If he's on your waivers, go pick him up. But definitely someone to be paying attention to here over the next week, especially if Robinson gets traded. But he's a guy that I think you should be drafting as a later round pick, even if Robinson is there, because it sounds like they want this kid to take over. So, like I said, 38 is Austin Eckler, 39, Jaden Blue, the rookie in Dallas. He's going to be the receiving back. Javonte Williams hasn't been special, even in preseason camp. Miles Sanders, nothing special. Jaden Blue is probably the best athlete they have at running back, and he's going to be, like I said, with the Patriots' old ways with what was White's first name? I forget the kid White, running back for the Patriots, where they used him as like it was almost an extension of the running game where they just threw short passes. James White, my buddy James White. I love James White. I can't believe I couldn't remember his first name. But James White, I believe that's what's going to happen in Dallas here. They're going to be passing a lot as it is with Pickens, with Ferguson, with CeeDee Lamb. Jaden Blue is a receiving back. There's a good chance that he could hit 50 catches this season, no problem. No problem. And so if he does that, he's going to be valuable. He's going to be like a Kamara, just like a generic Kamara. And maybe not. Maybe he ends up being what Kamara is for the Cowboys, where he gets 700 yards rushing on average and another 500 receiving, because he's got 65 catches every year. So something to pay attention to. Guy willing to take a chance on. Not big on Dallas's offense, though, especially with losing Tyler Guyton. We're waiting to find out exactly how long, if he's going to be out for the season. There was a report that he could come back, so I'm waiting to find some more out about that. But all the same, I'm not big on the Cowboys' run game this year. That's why I got Blue down here at 39. I think he's a great later round pick, and you could get 50 to 60 catches easy out of him as a third running back, or as a bench back that you could start once he you figure that out, what's going on in Dallas and how good they're going to be at the run game. Number 40, last guy in this tier 6, is Zach Charbonnet. And part of this is because Charbonnet is a good running back. Part of this is because Ken Walker gets banged up. Ken Walker's way higher on the board to me. Ken Walker is the better talent to me. And he showed last year he can catch passes. So not a question about that. His biggest thing is health. If you're drafting Ken Walker, draft Zach Charbonnet. I know people aren't big on handcuffs. I used to be real big on handcuffs. I've gotten away from it a little bit more, but there's certain guys I'm drafting a handcuff to. If I draft Ken Walker, I have to get Zach Charbonnet in my mind. And the two combined throughout the season are going to be a top 15 running back. If you have them both, Walker goes down, you start Charbonnet for a couple games, Walker comes back, you put the Charbonnet back on the bench, man. Now, if you're a guy who wants to cut people's throat and still to back up, this is one of those guys to get. That's just all there is to it. So, finish the tier 6, Zach Charbonnet there at 40. On to tier 7. Tier 7, number 41, Jordan Mason. Like I talked about with Aaron Jones, he dropped a couple spots more because of other guys. Jordan Mason's always been right here around 40 to 45 to me. I believe he's going to be involved. They traded for him because they like him that much. And he's a good running back. He's going to help Aaron Jones stay fresh, though, in my mind, more than he's going to take over all the carries from Aaron Jones, and Aaron Jones just catching passes. But like I said, him and Aaron Jones could do what they did in Green Bay before with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, where A.J. Dillon was doing short yardage and stuff like that, and Aaron Jones was the superstar of the receiving, getting all the catches, got the 50-50 split on carries, 60-40 split on carries, and I believe that's what Jordan Mason's going to be, is that 40% carry mark. Maybe he gets 50% of the carries, but not a lot of catches. He's not a very good receiving back as it is, so I got him lower down here. 42, Will Shipley. To me, this is the most important backup next to Isaac Guerendo or whoever ended up, Jeff Wilson, whoever the hell the San Fran backup is, and Zach Charbonnet. These three guys, Charbonnet, Jordan Mason, Will Shipley, they're the top 3 backups to me that you don't think of as guys that are going to play a lot. Like David Montgomery, you believe he's going to play. Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson, they're both going to play. Trey Benson, he's going to play, but I would put these guys as the most important handcuffs. Okay, so handcuff running backs, this is kind of what this is right now, tier 7 to me. Your handcuff running backs. I know Charbonnet was in the next tier up. That's because I believe he's a little more valuable. And Jordan Mason's just the first guy on here because he's right at that marker between tier 6, tier 7. I just put him in tier 7 because I do believe Aaron Jones is still going to be the main guy there, even at 31 years old this season. But we got Will Shipley next. Brian Robinson, like I said, if he gets traded, his value is already dropping just because they're willing to trade him, which means that he's not in their future plans. But if he stays with the Commanders, he's still got value, just not as much. He's going to be a guy that's a backup now is what it feels like. But if he's right here because I need to see what happens with him. Does he get traded? Does he get cut and signed? What happens with him? Next guy, 44, Kyle Monangai, the rookie. I talked about him with DeAndre Swift earlier. This guy could be David Montgomery in that Ben Johnson offense. I believe Roschon has showed he might be the goal line back every now and again. But I think Monangai is going to end up taking over that number 2 back from Roschon just because Roschon hasn't proved to be consistent more than anything. And this is Ben Johnson's guy. I know he drafted him in the 7th round or whatever, but he still drafted him. And if this kid's showing anything, which there are positive reports about him, he's going to take over that job from Roschon. Could end up being the number 1 in Chicago and letting Swift just be a third down back style player, the receiving back. And I think he's a guy you should be drafting in the end of your drafts for smaller leagues and in deeper leagues. He's just a guy you can put on your bench and see what happens for the first few weeks. If he is the number 2 or if he is the goal line back, you just got to steal for a late round pick. And if he isn't, you cut him, man. There's not you're always going to take chances on guys. You see what happens the first couple weeks. He's on your team, great. If he isn't, fine, cut him. Number 45, DJ Giddens. He goes up there with that Mason and Will Shipley and Charbonnet list, kind of, because Jonathan Taylor is known to miss 2 or 3 games a season. DJ Giddens is going to be the backup there. Yes, they got a couple other running backs there in Indy, but at the end of the day, DJ Giddens is the guy they just drafted with, I think it was a 4th round pick. And he's a guy that I liked a lot coming out of Kansas State. So he's a guy that I believe could be a 3-down back if Jonathan Taylor goes down. Whether they feel that way about it, I'm not sure. But they definitely drafted him to come in and help out with that run game. And with Taylor's history of missing 2 to 3 games a year, Giddens is a guy you should be drafting as a cutthroat move. As I'm going to cut this guy's throat, steal his backup, so when Taylor misses, he doesn't have him, and I do. Number 46, we talked about earlier, Joe Mixon. He dropped from 24 to 46 because I'm still trying to get more information on him. Is he going to play at all this season? Is he going to play to begin the season? Is he going to be on the PUP list for the first 4 to 6 weeks? We're waiting to find out what's going on with Joe Mixon. Are they going to wait until they get into the season, put him on IR? Because if you do it before the season starts, he's out for the season. If you do it after week 1, he's on there for 3 weeks at a minimum, and you can bring him back. So that's something to look for with Joe Mixon. It's definitely, if you're wanting to draft Joe Mixon, read everything you can about him. I'm still gathering information. I think the move could be to wait until after week 1, put him on IR if they believe there's a chance he can come back. They don't want to lose him for the season if they don't have to. That's just all there is to it. They didn't pay him a contract last year for no reason, but they brought in Nick Chubb for a reason. And that's because they're not sure what's going on with Joe Mixon, how healthy he's going to be. So something to keep in mind. Number 47 and number 48 here are Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I talked about with Rachaad White being banged up and the way the Bucs coaching staff has been talking about Sean Tucker. Rachaad White finishes a top 25 back in a lot of PPR and half PPR leagues last year. And he's a good receiving back. He's a good back that you could have as a number 2. But he's a guy that could also get traded or just could be pushed down the depth chart because of how good Sean Tucker is. You saw it in the one game last year with Sean Tucker. I think he had like 150, but it might have been like 130-some yards. 2 touchdowns, I think. Like, he's a very good running back. Tampa Bay's got a stable. I don't believe they want to use all 3. I believe they really want to have 2 main guys. And then, but like I said, they could trade Rachaad White and just have Bucky and Sean Tucker there, and Tampa Bay is going to be fine. It's not like Rachaad White is the difference maker. Bucky's a difference maker. Sean Tucker and Rachaad White are both interchangeable pieces to me as far as how you want to run your offense. So I got them both ranked right here. It's really pick your poison. Which one do you think is the number 2? I think there's a good chance Sean Tucker is passing Rachaad White, especially with the injury Rachaad White's dealing with. It's real easy to see more Sean Tucker and get real excited. So something to keep in mind when you're drafting later on, thinking about backups, thinking about handcuffs. These are 2 guys that you got to read up on before you do anything. Number 49, Samaje Perine. I love Samaje Perine. A couple years ago, I had Mixon, picked up Perine as his backup. Mixon got hurt. Perine came in. This was all when they were both with the Bengals. Now, Perine left for Denver. Mixon left for Houston. Perine came back to Cincy now to be the backup after Zach Moss was dealing with an injury at the end of last year, and sounds like he was released earlier this season and is not signed with anybody. So Samaje Perine's the number 2 there. They got the rookie Taj Brooks, but I don't think he's going to be very involved this year. I think Perine's going to be that guy to give Chase Brown a break here and there, but I don't think Chase Brown's going to get a lot of breaks. So Perine's more of an insurance back, a handcuff, because Perine can come in there and be a starter for a couple of games and be effective. So number 50, Trey Benson, talked about him earlier. Everybody's telling me he's going to be more involved. I've yet to see it in a real regular season game, and he wasn't. Last year he got banged up a little bit. Last year he didn't show anything really special. So I wonder how much he's actually going to be involved. That's why I still got him down here. He could go up a little bit higher here, up to 42, 43, and maybe into the late 30s if it's true that he's going to be involved that much with James Conner. But I'm still under the impression that James Conner is going to get 60, 65%, and Trey Benson's going to get 35 to 40%. Depending on, how the game script's going and everything else. But guy to keep in mind, number 51 here, the last running back in tier 7, one of my favorite guys in the draft. Had him ranked, I think, is like the 6th or 7th running back going into the NFL draft. I like Ollie Gordon a lot, and I think the Dolphins do too. And I think they're realizing he's better than Jalen Wright. Ollie Gordon has outperformed Jalen Wright already in the preseason. Achane's banged up. You get Ollie Gordon this late right now, and Achane ended up missing the first couple games. You could have a starter for the first couple games. Achane has an injury history. Stayed healthy last year, most last year. He was still dealing with stuff, but didn't miss a lot of time or anything. The year before, he missed a bunch of games with injuries. And he's a smaller back, so he's always the chance of, does Achane miss a bunch of games? More importantly about Ollie Gordon, I feel like he's a Raheem Mostert replacement. Now, 2 years ago, I had Mostert. He had 21 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns for the Dolphins. That's Ollie Gordon's ceiling to me, that he can fill that Raheem Mostert role, be involved 50% of the carries, be the goal line back, be the starter if Achane misses time. That is his ceiling. His floor is you're cutting him. That's why I still got him down here at 51. I believe he's going to be involved, but if the Dolphins fall apart again like they did last year, you're going to end up cutting Ollie Gordon anyways, unless Achane's missing time when you're starting him as a starting running back. But I do believe Ollie Gordon's the number 2 in Miami already as a rookie, and I believe he's a guy you want to draft with the potential of this guy's getting 50% of a good offense's carries and some of the receptions and all the goal line looks. So something to keep in mind when you're drafting late, those deep drafts, this is a guy you want to be drafting. Tier 8. Number 52 here, Isaac Guerendo for the 49ers. I got him here mainly because he's banged up right now. He'd be higher. But if I don't draft Christian McCaffrey, I don't need to draft another hurt running back for the San Fran. It's kind of how I feel about it. So it's not like he's going to be way higher. He's going to be up there in that Will Shipley range at 41, 42, whatever it was. And because if McCaffrey gets banged up again, like I said, we know his injury history. Guerendo's already proved he could be a starting running back and be a damn good one for you. It's just about, can he stay healthy? At the end of the day, we're probably going to start Jeff Wilson 1 week this year. So it's just ridiculous. San Fran's running back room is in shambles right now. McCaffrey's the only healthy one. That's why he got bumped up. But Guerendo is the most talented backup they have. So definitely a guy that you're drafting late. You pick him up, you put him on your bench, and you wait to see what happens with McCaffrey. 53, Ray Davis. Ray Davis probably should be a little bit higher on this, but if he doesn't get over that 35-40% carry mark for the Bills this year, he's going to be what he was last year. Just a guy you would love to see get more time, but not worthy of a fantasy roster spot. I love Ray Davis, think he's a hell of a back. James Cook misses time, he's the guy to have. But if they don't run the ball in the red zone, Ray Davis isn't the same guy. And last year was James Cook getting all those red zone carries. So he wasn't even taking over that. So as much as I like Ray Davis, I can't put him up any higher simply for the fact that he didn't do anything last year to prove to me that he should be getting more carries, or that I should say that the Bills didn't prove anything that they're going to give him more carries this year. 54, Justice Hill, old vet, receiving back for the Ravens. When they're in 2-minute drill, when they're down in the fourth quarter, Ray Davis is the guy. Justice Hill is the guy on the field. That's just all there is to it. Now, Keaton Mitchell, he's looking healthy, looks great. I think he returned a touchdown, or returned a kick for a touchdown, or took one to the house, or maybe it was a receipt. I forget what it was in the first preseason game. But Keaton Mitchell's a hell of a player, and he is a better player than Justice Hill. But Justice Hill is the guy they trust, and they know what he's capable of, and he's a receiving back. So he's a guy you get. You can start as a bye-week filler here and there. Never going to be a guy, unless Henry goes down, Justice Hill is never going to be a guy you could start on a regular basis. He's more of a spot filler guy, and someone that it's nice you get 6-7 catches in a game. He gets 40 yards. You had a good day for Justice Hill, and you're happy you started him that week as a bye-week filler. But if Derrick Henry's healthy all season and Keaton Mitchell's healthy all season, Justice Hill should probably be a little bit lower on this list. I just still think he's a good vet. I've had good luck with Justice Hill. He's a guy I like personally. 55, Tyler Algier. Another important handcuff. If you're looking for handcuffs, this is the Atlanta Falcons handcuff to Bijan Robinson. Algier is still involved. I'm happy Arthur Smith's gone as their OC because, as you've seen, he wasn't as involved as he was the year before. But Algier is still a good running back. He's a 1,000-yard back from his rookie season. They just had an opportunity to take Bijan Robinson, couldn't pass it up. But at the end of the day, Algier is the guy you want as the backup and is a serviceable guy. If he can go out there and get 40 yards and a touchdown in a bye week fill-in, you're happy as hell with him. So, number 56, Najee Harris. He would be higher. I think I had him in like late 30s, early 40s like before. But with the eye injury, not knowing if he's going to be ready week one, he had to get moved down. 57, 58. We talked about Jerome Ford earlier. Talked about what's going on in Cleveland. Here's Quinshad Judkins and Dylan Sampson. Two rookies I like. Don't know what's going on with Judkins, and it's going to affect Sampson's situation. So I just decided to put him down here 57, 58 and say, take your guess. Roll the dice, pick the guy you like, and go with it. If it's Jerome Ford, fine. If it's Judkins, if Judkins gets signed before in the next few days and they put him out there as a starter, as a number 2, Judkins is moving up the list just for the fact that you want to win fantasy. So, but right now, Judkins doesn't have a contract. Dylan Sampson does. He would be the guy I would probably take at the moment until I know what's going on with Judkins. Kind of like the Joe Mixon situation. I just need more information. Give me more information, Cleveland. Let me know what you're going to do with Judkins. I wish the league would tell us what they're going to do, but he's not even under contract, so they can't punish him yet. It's a big nightmare that I don't know if you want to get into, especially with a team that I don't think the offense is going to be some powerhouse. Like I said, three-headed monster, it's just something to avoid. 59, Bashaw Tootin. It's like I talked about with Cleveland and the Jags earlier. These guys, there's 3 running backs in each offense that I believe is going to get their hands on the ball this year. In that situation, I'm trying to avoid that. I'm going to take a shot on Tank Bigsby or ETN probably. I'm not drafting Bashaw Tootin in any redraft league. Dylan Sampson, Quinshad Judkins. I'm probably not drafting Judkins in a redraft league. And I might not draft Sampson. Jerome Ford would be the guy I take, so at least I know I got somebody to begin the season. In case I drafted somebody else that might miss a couple games or something. But number 60 here, and the final guy in Tier 8 is Javonte Williams of the Cowboys. Simply for the fact that, hey, man, take a chance. At this point, we're at pick 60 of running backs, just running backs. Javonte Williams has still been a starter in this league for a long time. They keep trying to tell us Javonte Williams is a starter, and it's like none of us want to believe it. We still believe Jaden Blue is going to be the guy. I got him ranked higher simply because of the pass-catching capability. But at this point, if you're in a deep league, take Javonte Williams because he might have a starting running back. And our final tier of the day, Tier 9, Number 61, Devin Singletary. Number 62, Cam Scatterboo. Scatterboo's banged up right now. Not sure if he's going to be ready for the start of the season. Devin Singletary is just a vet. Guy I've always liked him in Buffalo, liked him in Houston. He's never going to be a dominant running back, but these two guys are going to end up. Scatterboo's probably going to take over Singletary over the course of the season just because he is the new draft pick, the new hotness. But Tyrone Tracy's the starter there. We've seen that. Like I said, he scored a touchdown in both preseason games already. I have confidence that Tyrone Tracy's the guy I want. Singletary and Scatterboo you got to figure out who the backup is. We don't have a definitive answer. Singletary is the backup to me starting. Scatterboo is what's going to be the second half. The guy I know everybody's excited about coming out of Arizona State. He's a good little power back, good guy to have. I don't know how many carries he's going to get the first half of the season. So I think both of these guys are more free agent guys that maybe you pick up once you find out the answer. And that's in deep leagues. These guys aren't getting drafted in those shallow leagues. These guys, maybe Scatterboo does because somebody likes to take a chance on a rookie. But two guys that I think are both going to be involved this season, but neither one of them are taking over Tyrone Tracy. Number 63, Tyjae Spears. Tyjae Spears back up in Tennessee. He's hurt right now. He's down here because he's hurt. They keep telling us he's going to be splitting carries with Tony Pollard for 2 years now. He's splitting carries with Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard's still the starter. He's still the guy getting the points. Tyjae Spears can't stay on the field. Tyjae Spears is a good running back to have as a backup, but he's got to stay on the field. I'm not drafting Tyjae Spears this year. Even if I draft Pollard, if something happens to Pollard, then I lose out on that. But I don't believe the Titans are going to be a good enough offense to support two running backs all season long. Number 64, Kendre Miller. I'm not a big fan of Kendre Miller. I've said this before. I think Devin Neal was going to be the backup. I think this is kind of like the Giants situation. Kendre Miller's a guy there, and he's healthy right now. Devin Neal's a little banged up. I think he's got a hamstring. But I think over the course of the season, Devin Neal becomes the number 2 for the Saints, and Kendre Miller falls behind him. But right now, Kendre Miller's the healthy one. If you're looking for the backup for the Saints to begin the season, Kendre Miller's that guy. My attitude is don't draft him. Don't draft Devin Neal. Just wait a few weeks into the season and see what happens. Pick up that guy off of free agency if you want him. Rico Dowdle, number 65, going from the Cowboys to the Panthers this year. He's going to back up Chuba Hubbard. I don't know how much Rico is going to be involved. I think he's more of an insurance if something happened to Chuba Hubbard. Rico Dowdle can fill that role. I'm sure Dowdle is going to get opportunities, but it's probably going to be like 15 to 20% opportunities. I don't think it's going to be – I think Hubbard's still the guy to have, going to be getting 65, 70, 75% of the carries plus catches. Rico Dowdle's a nice little receiving back. We saw that when he was in Dallas with Ezekiel Elliott, and he's got some speed to him. So when healthy, man, Rico Dowdle, I think he was a 1,000-yard back last year while I'm talking crap about him for the Cowboys. But I was surprised the Cowboys let him go, knowing what they had. But they brought in 3 different guys, hoping they can do something better than what he did last year. And Rico Dowdle moved on to the Panthers, and he's the guy, like I said, he's the backup to have right now. We know the rookie they drafted last year is out for the season already. So Rico Dowdle's your backup. That's how I look at it. Rico Dowdle's a guy that if Chuba is missing, I would be confident starting Rico Dowdle. I just don't think he's going to be super involved if Hubbard's healthy. Number 66, the rookie Woody Marks for the Houston Texans. This goes back to the Joe Mixon thing. Like I said, I've heard a report that he might not play at all this year. Some report says he could be ready the first couple weeks. I need more information. But if you're in a deep league, you don't want to draft Mixon, take that chance. You're not sure about how long Chubb will hold up. Draft Woody Marks, man. Just a late-round rookie. He could end up being a star this year just because he's on a really good fucking offense, and he could help that team, and especially in the red zone, man. Guys get tackled at the 1 all the time. I got a buddy in my league. He's got like 9 guys tackled at the 1 every 2 weeks. It's hilarious. He's also a 5-time winner, so he'll probably have his luck go back the other way this year. But number 67, Blake Corum. I know there's a lot of hype about Jaquez Hunter, the rookie they drafted, and it's possible that he ends up taking over Blake Corum over the course of the season. But I think Blake Corum's still the number 2 there, and will probably finish as the number 2. More importantly, he will get the Kyron Williams carries if Kyron Williams misses. Jaquez Hunter is more of a big play type player. He could be a receiving back type player, and they would probably split with Corum and Hunter if Kyron Williams was to miss time. But Blake Corum would probably be the first the first and second down backs, first and second down back, and goal line back. So Corum would be that guy. So that's why I got him ahead of Jaquez Hunter here. But he's still late here because I don't think anybody's getting a lot of carries behind Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams is still a guy that dominates opportunities for that team. And with the news of Matt Stafford, it's something to keep in mind of how much the Rams can score if Stafford's gone. I know they got Jimmy G as the backup, but right now, Kyren Williams, I think he dropped a spot or two in my rankings because of the Stafford news. And the belief of we don't know when Stafford's coming back. They keep telling us he's going to practice for the last couple of days, and now they won't even talk about was he at the facility. We're waiting to find out more information, but right now Blake Corum's at 67, 68, Kareem Hunt. You know what Kareem Hunt is. Nothing special anymore. He ain't got the same speed he used to, but the Chiefs trust him. If something happens to Pacheco, Kareem Hunt's going to be the starter, and they're going to be mixing Elijah Mitchell's in and other guys like that, Brashard Smiths. Kareem Hunt could get cut. If that's the case, then Elijah Mitchell and Brashard Smith become a lot more valuable. But right now, in the current situation, still in the preseason, Kareem Hunt, to me, is the number 2 guy for the Chiefs. Number 69, Keaton Mitchell. Talked about him earlier with Justice Hill. Kid's got speed for days. He's just got to stay on the field. He's definitely a guy that could pass Justice Hill and become that number 2 for Baltimore, but he's got to be healthy. Right now, he's healthy. Maybe I should have him ranked a little bit higher, but I need to be proved that you could stay healthy, not just for a couple weeks, but actually for a whole season. And number 70 here, Emmanuel Wilson. Emmanuel Wilson, in the beginning of the offseason, I was like, this guy dropped. They got Marshawn Lloyd coming back. Jacobs dominates carries. He didn't really do nothing until later in the season when they were just trying to rest Jacobs a little bit and later in the season to keep him fresh for the playoffs. But now Marshawn Lloyd's been hurt twice this offseason already. He's out again right now. He came off the pup, or he came back to practice, and 5 days later he was out again. He got hurt again. So if you got Marshawn Lloyd, drop that dude. It's over for him in my mind. Emmanuel Wilson is the number 2 for the Green Bay Packers and will be the guy that you want if something happens to Josh Jacobs. I just don't believe Josh Jacobs is going to give up many opportunities unless he's out. So Emmanuel Wilson's down here as our last guy to draft in Tier 9 and on the top 70 list. Hope you guys liked what's going on here. Tell me what you think. Tell me who I got ranked too high, too low, all that good stuff. As always, thanks for watching. And until next time, I hope you're having a good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Whatever time you're watching. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. First down, Punts!